Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Comic Book Lowdown. I'm Wellington, and today I'm going to be reviewing Spider-Man: The Vengeance of Venom. This trade collects a lot of the Venom stories written by David Michelinie. I really like the voice for Spider-Man that David has for this. He's just got a great voice for Spider-Man. I'm reading the Amazing Spider-Man omnibus that he writes, and just the stories in that are great, and the stories in this are great. He covers a lot of great issues for Venom. A lot of probably the best Venom stories I've ever read. And Venom has a real personality in this, where as before as nowadays Venom is more of just the monster, whereas in this, Venom and the symbiote just itself have a mind of its own, really, but they also cooperate with Eddie Brock, so I really like that. But just to start with, Venom's moral code in this is very strange, because he wants to punish Spider-Man for taking away Eddie Brock's innocence after Spider-Man, he exposed one of Eddie Brock's stories as being a lie, and so that ruined Eddie Brock's reporting career. And so after that, the symbiote and Eddie bonded with each other, and now they're hunting for Spider-Man. They want to kill Spider-Man, but in the meantime, they also want to protect people that are innocent. But at the same time as that, Eddie and the symbiote, they will kill innocent people if they get in their way. So you're safe from Venom as long as you're innocent and then don't get in his way, because in these stories, Venom kills a lot of innocent people, but he then feels bad about it afterwards, because he doesn't want to take innocent lives. But if it gets in between him and his goal of killing Spider-Man, he doesn't hesitate to do it. So there was that. But and that's pretty much the dominant theme in all of these stories with Venom. He's just going after Spider-Man. He's trying to kill him, and he and Peter, they have a lot of backs and forths with each other, either with fighting or even talking it out a lot. They tend to Eddie Brock tends to go to Peter's house a lot, or maybe even Aunt May's house when Peter's there, and kind of like threatens Peter a little bit when he can't really do anything, because he doesn't want to expose himself to Aunt May or to the public. So Venom has Peter in a corner through a lot of these issues in this trade, which I really like. They make for a lot of good stories. And speaking of really good stories, after my favorite story is a story where Peter makes Venom think that he finally killed Spider-Man on an island. They go to an island and they have their final fight against each other, where Peter makes Venom think that he finally killed him, and Peter then gets to escape before Venom actually does kill him. So after that comes the first appearances of Carnage, and Carnage is way different from Venom. Venom in this, he kills whoever he wants, and he kills for no reason, and it's scary the way he kills because of his explanation. Some people are always like, why are you doing this to me? And his answer is always like, because I want to. And so that's very scary, when somebody is just willing to kill just because they want to kill, and he gets a great joy out of it. So they really depict Cletus Cassidy as a very crazy person in this, and he's very dangerous. And that's when Spider-Man then needs to go back to the island and ask Venom for his help, because he needs Venom to stop Carnage in this. And that once he finally brings Venom back to New York, it's just mayhem. Now Venom and Spider-Man have to team up with each other against Carnage, and to do so, Spider-Man had to make a truce with Venom, saying that okay, after they get Carnage, Venom's allowed to go free, and Spider-Man's not allowed to pursue him. After that, well, actually, first let me get to this panel right here, which is my favorite panel in the entire book. Those three panels right there, my favorite panels in the entire book, and it just shows how dominant Carnage is over his enemies, pretty much, where he kind of just demolishes Venom. Not demolishes, but he cuts through Venom's skin easily, and he cuts through the symbiote very easily. So, but then eventually they finally get Carnage. They beat Carnage, and Spider-Man breaks the promise. And at the same time of beating Carnage, Spider-Man then also beats Venom with the I think he uses a sonic ray. So, you know, the symbiote doesn't like sonic noises and fire. And he uses a sonic ray on Eddie Brock, weakening the symbiote, and then he takes him to jail as well. And he breaks the truce, breaks the promise that they had with each other. And then probably one of my favorite lines in this is when J. Jonah Jameson was he was watching all of that go down, and when they're taking Venom away, Jonah says, or Jameson says that that if it was Captain America wouldn't have broken a promise to somebody like that. And then Spider-Man, he says back, he's like, well, Captain America is a legend, and I'm only a man. So, you know, and men have to they have to deal with the choices that they make, pretty much. And so I thought that was really cool how they did that, saying that, you know, because technically Spider-Man is more than a man, because he has these superpowers where Captain America is more human, you could say, than Spider-Man is. So I thought that was kind of funny, but then kind of serious. It had a lot of seriousness to it. So I really like that line that they put right there. Another story I really like in here is they cover Venom's first adventure. So there's no Spider-Man in that story, and it's just Venom getting his symbiote, dealing with that, or not getting it, but he's dealing with the symbiote, and he sees that one of his friends or somebody that he knows is murdered, and the nephew of that person is kidnapped. So then he goes on a hunt to find the murderers and whatever, and there's some twist in the plot, and it's just very good writing. I'm not sure if it's Michelinie who writes it. I don't think it is, but it's a great story nonetheless. So, but that's pretty much that story. It's just the first adventure that Venom has, where he wants to be good, but because he's trying to be good and he does the right thing in the end, but then the police go after him, then he decides that he's gonna, you know, do bad things. So that's kind of the turning point for Venom. The art in a lot of these issues, well, not all of these issues, is great. The art in the books that are from the Amazing Spider-Man, I think, are the best displays of art. And then there's a lot of other books, like in Spectacular Spider-Man and Web of Spider-Man. There's some issues from all those, and those are really great. Some of the coolest art I saw was, besides the Amazing Spider-Man, there's a special edition of this where it's just called Spider-Man Special Edition, and here's the cover for it. And it features Daredevil in it, and Daredevil, Matt Murdock decides that he's going to be Venom's attorney, and that's pretty funny because the symbiote they find that the symbiote killed itself in the cell, and so since the symbiote is dead, that means that Eddie Brock is no longer a super-powered villain. Therefore, he doesn't need to be in the vault anymore. So Matt Murdock takes the case for Venom, and that doesn't make Spider-Man happy at all. But and it's really cool. They have good back and forth Daredevil and Spider-Man throughout this while they're just beating up bad guys. They're just talking about, Spider-Man's talking, how could you defend Eddie Brock, and Matt Murdock's just saying, well, that's my job, that's what I'm supposed to do. And throughout this, it's really funny. Spider-Man then testifies. He testifies in court, but he can't show his true face, so he testifies as Spider-Man. And it's really funny just seeing Spider-Man in court testifying. And it looks like Eddie Brock's going to be off the hook, but Spider-Man makes a final test against Eddie to see if he's faking or not, and it turns out Eddie is faking it, and he got past Daredevil, or Matt Murdock, I should say, and then a fight ensues, and then it's just a lot of action stuff featuring Daredevil, Spider-Man, and Venom, and it's just really good stuff. So I really like this issue just because I really like Daredevil and I really like Spider-Man, so put two of them together in one book, and then it's just a great story. So if I had to if I had to grade this whole trade, I would definitely give it a 5 stars out of 5, 10 out of 10. This is just great stuff. I was never bored throughout this entire trade. And I wish I had really owned it because I got it from the public library, and I'm eventually going to have to return it. I wish I could buy it or find it somewhere, maybe if my comic book store had it in stock, but yeah, I would really want this, but in a little better condition. A lot of the cover is bent a little bit, and it's got a little wear and tear on it, and some of the pages are yellowing a little bit, so if I could get my hands on this, I would definitely want a fresh copy of it. So maybe one day I'll get this personally. But for right now, I'm just going to have to deal with having read the stories and really enjoying them. And if you can get it, I recommend it a lot. You'll never be bored during it. And if you like Spider-Man, or if you like Spider-Man and Venom, this is probably the best some of the best stories that you could read by them. So that does it for this video. I'm Wellington with the Comic Book Lowdown, and I'll see you guys next time.